What is up, guys? Next Gen Resident Evil here, and in this video we're going to talk about Jill in Resident Evil Death Island. So my only concern, or actually I have two concerns: the way she looks. Jill looks amazing. New Jill is hot. Julie Evolved the Jill, we're going to piss some people off. Julie Evolved the Jill looks really weird, strange to me. She looks almost alien. But mostly in Resident Evil 5. Jill in Resident Evil 5 looks really off to me, because the way they decided to age her was have her like, they just gave her a big potato nose. But Jill, or Julie Evolved in Remake, looks fine. It's just the RE5 Jill. She looks really weird for some reason, especially in like fan art and stuff. When people do their own 3D stuff with her, with that Julie Evolved face, it looks really weird. But anyway, I think that the Sasha, what is her name? Or this new Jill is like the hottest Jill in the franchise. So I've probably pissed a lot of people off already. We're off to a good start. So my two concerns is that Jill looks very youthful. So yeah, she looks very young. There's two scans. There's two instances of her in that trailer. There's one that's early on where she's standing next to Chris when the zombies are attacking the inmates or whatever the heck they're going through. And then there's a bit at the end where it's straight up Jill shooting or target practicing. Now, the Jill that shows up in the prison, even though her back's facing the camera, we can tell that's Jill because of the bob. So yeah, and then we see the thing at the end, which is young Jill from RE3, 24-year-old Jill with the bob. It looks, I mean, the whole getup is the exact same as RE3. So the thing that's worrying to me, even though it's not a super huge big deal, is that we don't see an older Jill. I've been waiting to see the progression from Resident Evil 5 to today. I wanted to know what happened to Jill after Resident Evil 5, what she would look like now, what kind of scars she would have, PTSD, all of that stuff. And if it feels like they may take this opportunity away from me because they want to keep Jill like hot and sexy and young. So they're just gonna drag and drop remake Jill into this, just, you know, for that sex appeal or whatever. And we don't get to see the progression from Jill from RE5 to this movie, which will probably take place in 2015, 2016. But I just really wanted to see an old Jill, a 42-year-old Jill. I think she'll be 42, 43 around the time that this movie takes place. So it really sucks that we may not, I'm not saying we will not, we may not see an older Jill, which again, it's really gonna suck if we don't. Now, say we do not see a younger Jill. Let's say Capcom, they had their little conference and they're like, we can't use an old lady, even though she's not really old. Like, she's getting up there. She's 42. I mean, she would still look close to the same way she looked in Resident Evil 3. Only difference would be is that she would have little crow's feet or whatever. It wouldn't be that extreme because she's only 42. But then, you know, if you've played like Soul Calibur or whatever, there's some Japanese developers, they would say like, there's no sex appeal in like older women, so they took out Taki because Taki would have been 39 in the newest Soul Calibur. Well, it's not, well, what is it, Soul Calibur like 6 or something like that, or Soul Calibur 5? Taki would have been like 39, so they took her out. It's like, it's too old, that's disgusting. So they took her out and replaced her with Natsu and gave Natsu pretty much the same moves as Taki, but the specials a little bit different. So that could have been what happened. They had their little meeting and they're like, damn, we can't put an old Jill. We're just going to put the young Jill so we can make everybody happy, or, you know, seemingly make people happy because we have the young hot one. And we won't put the old one, even though it would be better for the character if we put the older one to show the visible changes from the events of Resident Evil 5 and how much she's matured. But no, we're just going to put the young one. So if they put the young one, if that is a definite thing, that we have the young one as Jill Valentine moving forward, as long as her character is done really well in Resident Evil Death Island, it won't be that much of a big deal to me But if they do a really bad job with her character, like how they did with Claire and Infinite Darkness, and she looks young and hot, that's probably gonna really upset me. So I'm hoping that is either like she's young and the story's really good, or it's just a flashback where she looks young and the story's really good. I don't want the story to be really bad, but yeah. Anyway, that last bit didn't make sense to me in my head. I mean, it sounded like it made sense in my head, but it didn't make sense when I said it. But anyway, yeah, that is the concerning part. I hope that they do Jill's character really well. That's the main thing I want, because I know for sure this is probably going to be the thing that they're going to do. They're going to keep the young hot Jill and not show her visible progression from RE5 just because they want a young hot Jill. And then if her character is shit on top of that, like how they did with, like how they fucked up Claire and Infinite Darkness, I'll be pretty upset, because we've waited so long for Jill to show up again, and then they just do it like this. So, you know, it's not out yet. She could be absolutely amazing. I'm just concerned, a little bit concerned. So until next time, guys, peace out and take care.